Well, hello and welcome to Binge Watch, the podcast where we take a look at the hottest new TV and film releases on streaming television platforms. I'm Hannah Fernando, the editor-in-chief of Woman and Home magazine.
And I'm Ian McEwan, writer on the rebranded TV and streaming week. Yes, in the shops now. TV Times and What's on TV magazines. And today we're looking at the new releases that will be available on Friday the 15th of May 2026, including the eagerly awaited return of Bonkbuster Rivals on Disney Plus and the latest Yellowstone spin-off Dutton Ranch on Paramount Plus.
And we'll also be looking for the way out in a new celebrity challenge show on You, hosted by Mel Giedroyc, and celebrating the life and career of comic actor Marty Short in Marty, Life is Short on Netflix. But first, Ian, what is in the news?
In the Netflix drama Lovesick, Claire Danes, the wonderful Claire Danes, will play a breast cancer surgeon who is stunned when she is diagnosed with the disease herself. What else is in the news, Hannah?
In Apple TV sci-fi drama Liminal, featuring Vanessa Kirby and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, a section of the population becomes telepathic following an electromagnetic incident. You've got to put your teeth into that sentence, you know that, Ian?
We've all been there. Well, I'd say it's one of our better weeks this week. I think I pretty much liked everything. We're going to start on Netflix with a feature-length, well, it's kind of a biopic, I guess, called Marty, Life is Short. And here's a clip.
In this business, in the world of comedy, there's nobody faster.
You used to do circus work.
I was a freak for a while.
There's nobody smarter.
Just because the eyes are so dull doesn't mean that there's not a machinery of wheels clicking away.
There's nobody funnier.
Say something funny.
You're the guy.
I feel like he could improvise to eternity, couldn't he?
This is directed by Lawrence Kasdan, who is friends with Martin Short, who is he's a Canadian comedian and comic actor who's kind of had a renaissance, really, hasn't he? Due to Only Murders in the Building with Steve Martin, and also the shows that they put on together that are also available on Netflix, live shows that are very, very funny. But I remember him, will always remember him, from the brilliant Three Amigos film with Steve Martin and Chevy Chase. Anyway, more of that later. So this is, it's kind of the story of his life and career. And I didn't realise that he's very much a sketch comedian who started on Second City, which was a Canadian sketch show, celebrated Canadian sketch show. And then he moved across to Saturday Night Live. But it's also about his life and his marriage. And he and his wife, they couldn't have kids, so they adopted 3 children. Tragically, since this film was made, one of them took her own life earlier this year. He also lost his wife to cancer, I think, a few years ago. There's some lovely home movie footage, especially of him and his sort of showbiz pals, who include Tom Hanks and Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, of course, Steve Martin. And he's one of those guys, he just kind of makes you think, I wish I was friends with him, because they all are clearly, they're so fond of him. They speak so fondly of him. And he has just had a real lust for life and a real gift for creating comic characters. I mean, the characters he's most famous for, I wasn't aware of at all. They were from kind of SCTV years. So yeah, it's a lovely watch. The great moment for me is when he and Tom Hanks are recreating Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid when they jump off that cliff into the water, and they're doing it in sort of Forrest Gump mode. They jump off a boat. It's very amusing. But yeah, it's a really lovely watch. I don't know if I learned I don't know if I feel like I know Martin Short that much better, but you get a real sense of what he means and has meant to his close friends and family. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's really enjoyable. What did you think of it, Hannah?
It is really enjoyable, isn't it? I didn't really know what to expect particularly with this, but it's just really lovely and really sweet. I would agree with you. With something like this, you'd expect to probably learn a little bit more. Although I do think you kind of you get certain insights, don't you? And it feels quite sort of starry in places, as you say, with mentions of the kind of celebrity names and what have you. But I just think it's it leaves you with a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, over on Disney Plus, I know you have been looking forward to this, Hannah. It is the return of Jilly Cooper's Rivals. And here's a clip.
The A-Team. Back together again.
Sorry I'm late, darling. I've had a terrible headache. Rupert Campbell-Black and Declan O'Hara. We are ready to knock them out of the competition.
Let's get ready for a fight.
Yes, Rivals is back. The Bonkbuster is back. And you don't have to wait long, do you, Ian? Just a few minutes in and straight away the clothes are off. And yes, you got what you wanted. So basically, well, not you personally won, obviously. So this is the second season. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's very late in. It's very late in the day. Oh, I tell you what, I've watched too much of it now. So the first series I sort of dipped in and out of, I suppose, and this one, and I think it's worthy to watch the whole of the first series actually. And if you're a fan of Emily Atack, then you're particular, but she's particularly good in this. But this is a new 12-parter. And there's this feud, which we all know about, between Rupert and Irish broadcaster Declan O'Hara, who's played by Aidan Turner. And they are involved with this Lord Tony Baddingham, who's played by David Tennant. David Tennant's absolutely phenomenal actor anyway, but he's absolutely brilliant in this because he plays such a two different people whilst being the same person. So the person he is with his family, and then the person he is as a business at work, and they're involved with Lord Tony Baddingham, and it's just so grim, this kind of fight, this battle of media companies, and they'll do whatever it takes to essentially get full control. But whilst all that seriousness of the media world goes on, which we know so much about, while that's all going on, of course, there's all sorts of nonsense going on in the private lives of all of these people who are married and having affairs, right, left and centre. So you've got David Tennant, who plays Lord Tony Baddingham. As I say, he's a brilliant character, and just turns it on for his family, and it's an absolute horror. He's a real calculating human being. He owns Carinium TV, and he wants revenge on his rivals adventurer. You've got a lovely down-to-earth wife, Monica, played by Claire Rushbrook, and she tries to temper his plans, and she's just that very staple kind of wife at home, looking after everything, keeping everything in order. And I say he's really calculating. The one that's particularly horrible, he's described as a dashing MP. I don't know that he is dashing, but he doesn't wear a lot of clothes throughout a lot of it. He has a lot of raucous romps, and he's fighting to keep his seat at the general election. And he's got two people on the go. That's a common theme. This is, Jilly Cooper's book is based on Jilly Cooper's books. People will love, they love her books. They know what they're getting. They're the Bonkbuster, and that's it. And this just brings all of that to life. I think it's really well done. It's, I wouldn't watch it with the kids or your mother, but it's brilliant. I really enjoyed it. What do you think, Ian?
Well, I remember when we talked about series 1, I didn't like it. and I knew I was in a minority, and this has had absolutely rave reviews across the board. You know, it's been an absolute massive success. So I just think I don't quite get it. I think maybe I'm watching it in the wrong way, because maybe I should just be watching it as if the whole thing is just a big joke, because, I mean, I don't think anyone cares anymore about the battle between ITV franchises. I just kind of felt, the first time around, I thought it was kind of overcooked, overacted, overblown, overwritten. I didn't really care about any of the storyline. But I think I got the wrong end of the stick, really, because I think you're supposed to just watch it as a hilarious romp in which everyone is camping it up to the max, and it's just meant to be absolutely silly. So I did enjoy watching a polo match in episode 1. That was good. I loved Danny Dyer in it. He's hilarious.
Oh,
so he's
great.
playing polo in it. And you get to see some nice posh houses. There are some very funny 1980s hairstyles and outfits. And it's got my former upstairs neighbour, Rufus Jones, is in it as well. Yes. Is Alex Hassel the most handsome man on telly who plays Rupert Campbell Black?
No.
He kind of looks like Desperate Dan to me a bit. He's kind of got quite...
I don't think he's up. He's not with the hype. I'm not with it. I don't get it.
Everyone loves Aidan Turner, of course. I don't particularly like David Tennant's shtick, but I get that, you know, he's doing a good job in this. So yeah, I do appreciate that I am probably in a minority of one, but I think I've warmed to a bit now that I realise you're not supposed to say any of it in any way seriously whatsoever. Over on You and Dave and the streaming platform You, well, we've got a new game show called The Way Out. And here's a clip.
2 teams of comedians have to find a way out of my cunning escape rooms in the fastest time possible.
That's all in my neck!
These escape artists are going head-to-head across 4 fantastical worlds.
Yeah! I don't know why!
Where every second counts.
Time is ticking.
We know time is ticking! Time's always ticking!
Well, we've had Last One Laughing, haven't we, Hannah? And although this isn't quite the same, I'd say it's in a similar ballpark. It's hosted by Mel Giedroyc, who, of course, everybody loves. And it features a selection of comedians. They include Ed Gamble, Lou Sanders, Nish Kumar, Chloe Petts. And they set these challenges that they sort of take place in themed rooms, almost like kind of escape rooms. And they have to figure out clues to get from one place to another. So episode 1 has got David O'Doherty in it, the Irish comedian who is absolutely hilarious. And he is teamed up with Nish Kumar. And that they're playing against Ed Gamble, who is playing with Lou Sanders. And the first challenge is it's themed around fishing. So they start out on a fishing boat at sea. That's what it looks like. And they've got to catch some fish, and then they end up in like a fishmonger's. The future challenges will be themed around an art heist, stealing the Mona Lisa. Firefighting, I think. Shrink machine in a world where nothing is as it seems. So you get the gist. Yeah, Mel's going to be commenting on what's happening, and you're going to have teams of 2, captained by, I think, Ed and Nish each week with different guests. I found it very funny, and I particularly found episode 1 funny because David O'Doherty is just off the scale. So yeah, I think they've come up with something good here, something a bit different. What did you think, Hannah?
I really, really love Mel Giedroyc. So, and anything like this is just really, really funny. I mean, it's their kind of ineptitude that's probably the funniest part of this, really, isn't it? Of all of the different, comedians. But she's got funny bones and so have they. So it's a recipe for success, as we've seen with Last One Laughing, which is absolutely brilliant. And I feel like this is one of those things that will continue. There'll be more comedians wanting to do it. I think there's a real appetite for this at the moment, isn't there, in a world where everything's a bit sad and a bit horrible, and this just makes you laugh. I often fancy a belly laugh rather than watching the 10 o'clock news before I go to bed, and I think that's the point. And you, Dave, all of those kind of, those channels, they all show kind of the golden oldies, and it's actually really lovely to see some money being put behind some new comedy, rather than kind of all the oldies being, as brilliant as they are, being regurgitated. So I think it's really good. I think it's just what we need, and I think they're making the right thing, and the ratings are showing that.
Absolutely, a worthy successor to Taskmaster, which of course went on to great things. Well, we're going to finish on Paramount Plus with yet another Yellowstone spin-off. This one is called Dutton Ranch, and here's a clip.
To beautiful, beautiful Texas.
You bought the Edwards Ranch.
It's the Dutton Ranch now.
You met Miss Rhea Paloma herself. She's an acquired taste.
Beulah Jackson.
I'm Grizzly and Gucci. My ranch is 190 years old, and I worked very hard to protect it. Rip and Beth have secrets, and people with secrets can be useful.
Yes, so this follows Beth Dutton and Rip Wheeler. They're moving to South Texas. I don't know if you've ever been to Texas, Ian. I have, because my brother used to live there for a while, and I have been to a ranch, and it is incredible and it is amazing. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is how all cowboys behave when you watch this, but it's the backdrop is pretty beautiful at times. There's a real sort of pacey nature to this, because this couple have, as I say, moving to South Texas to kind of establish a new life, really, and they've got this huge ranch that they've bought, and they want to kind of leave the past behind and build a new future. But of course, like with everything, there's a rival ranch. I mean, why does everyone have? There's rivalry all over this podcast today. In fact, there's a see what I did there. Nice. But they're really ruthless. This ranch it's very, very ruthless, and there's loads of high stakes conflicts. So when you thought there was a nice sort of setting and everything was going to be calm and lovely and what have you, of course there wasn't. It's a drama. It's gonna explode, and there's cowboy fights, there's guns, it's pretty gritty in places. There's if you don't like dead bodies, don't watch it. That happened, and there's real high stakes conflict. And really, it's all about survival in the end, and them going down a path of absolutely no return. There's nothing. Can you hear the dog? The dog is screaming. We can't hear him. It's a path of no return for them. They've got to keep on going down a road that perhaps neither of them thought that they would want to be. I mean, if you love, as you said before, this is a Yellowstone spin-off, and because Yellowstone was so popular, I think producers and commissioners are thinking like, how can we kind of find something else that will touch people, that people will absolutely love. I'm not sure it's up there with Yellowstone, but it's certainly got that high drama. It's certainly got the kind of the web of lies and the backdrop and everything. It's got the recipe for success. But yeah, I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. What did you think, Ian?
I like it. I think it's one of the better Yellowstone spin-offs, and because obviously quite a few of them have gone back in time, haven't they? Whereas this picks up immediately after the end of Yellowstone. The most recent, so Kevin Costner, of course, played John Dutton, who owned the Yellowstone Ranch in Montana. So the Marshals was about one of his sons. My favourite character from Yellowstone, by far, and I'm sure a lot of other people agree with me, was John Dutton's daughter, Beth, who was a real force of nature, and played by British actor Kelly Riley, who is superb and just really nicely teamed with Rip, who's like the foreman on the farm, who is a real kind of stoic character played by Cole Hauser. So for reasons that you will learn very early on in episode 1. Yeah, they have to relocate to Texas. By a weird coincidence, Hannah, all my exes live in Texas.
What?
They don't. It's a country and music song. And you'll be hearing a lot of country music in this. There's also 2 huge stars they managed to attract to this. They have got Annette Bening. Yeah. She's got some incredible outfits in this, real cowgirl outfits. She plays Beulah Jackson, who is a rancher and a nasty piece of work, but a real, like, she and Beth clash, and this is going to be quite a battle. And then you've also got Ed Harris, yeah, from Apollo 13 and so many other things. He plays this, he's a vet and a veteran, a guy called Everett McKinney, who kind of becomes a friend of Beth's, really. They've also got so they sort of adopted this youngster, Carter. He's played by Finn Little. So he's come with them, and so you find that he's kind of at a new school. He's sort of having his first romances. He's getting into trouble. So I do think this is, from what I've seen so far, I think this is right up there with Yellowstone, and I think this is the spin-off that most fans really wanted, and I don't think they're going to be disappointed. Well, we've got to that time, young Hannah Maladio, where we find out what the hell you've been binge-watching.
Well, do you know what? I went to the cinema.
Ooh.
I went to the cinema. I bought myself some sweet popcorn, not salt and sweetie. I pushed the boat out this time and just got sweet. And I watched The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Wow, is it good?
It's not as good as the first one. I mean, rarely are they? I think Paddington is one of the few that kind of defies that rule. But no, it was more than fine. But no, it didn't have that kind of same buzz as the first one. They tried to take on a lot of the new workings of the media, but working in the media, you can see that. Still had their own offices though, Ian. Still had their own offices. Okay. I don't see that. But anyway, I'll move swiftly on. No bitterness here.
They're not hot.
They're not hot desking. No, they didn't. They all had their own offices or desks. No, that's not quite 2026. But anyway, I move on with that massive chip on my shoulder. I also watched the wonderful David Attenborough's birthday program on Friday night. Absolutely captivated by that. At the Royal Albert Hall, I think it was. It was lovely. How about you?
Well, of course, it was the BAFTA TV Awards, wasn't it? What? Very well hosted by Greg Davis. I thought he
did really well, didn't he?
He did a good job. And a couple of stars of Amanda Land presented an award, didn't they?
They did.
And because there's a new series of Amanda Land, which is such a brilliant comedy, and Lucy Punch plays Amanda, and she's like one of the all-time great comedy creations. So yes, I've gone back to watch series 1 of that, and Peter Serafinovich is so funny as her South African boyfriend. It's just so good. So that's what I have been binge watching. Now we've just got time to look ahead to next week's offering. So what is on the binge watch menu, Hannah?
Well, in Prime Video's Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan Ghost War, John Krasinski gets a feature-length outing as a principal CIA agent in a London set thriller featuring Sienna Miller and Max Beasley. Sienna Miller's, of course, just had another baby.
Oh, and Sacha Baron Cohen, remember him? And lovely Rosamund Pike find the world turned upside down in the Netflix comedy Ladies First. Yes, so we look forward to those and much, much more. But in the meantime, dear listeners, keep watching.